Welcome to this edition of Cibola Treasures. I'm Barbara Wesley, your host, and I am so glad that you're here with us today. We have a great program, including all of those things that happen around this time of the year, so stay tuned. Well, this is a time of the year when we prepare ourselves for the holiday season, and Grants Mainstreet is gearing up just for that event. The Christmas Light Parade is right around the corner on December 7th. And then we have a famous Navajo artist. Ronnie Henry is a jeweler silversmith that has won many, many awards, and he's here to demonstrate his techniques for the work that he does with gold and diamonds and all those great things that make his work so unique.
Grants Municipal Airport is the gem of Cibola County. Corporate aircraft and commercial businesses utilize the airport on a daily basis. Tourists fly in for breakfast, lunch, or dinner at a popular local diner. Adventure seekers come for hiking and biking in the mountains. The seriously ill are airlifted by a professional medical team. The Air Force Osprey pilots train at the Grants Airport. UPS delivers those needed packages. Property owners and real estate agents fly in to check out large ranches and properties. Grants Municipal Airport provides Jet A and Av gas fuel and service by two instrument approach procedures. Limited flight instruction is offered. Well maintained for safety of passengers, pilots, and residents. Positioned for economic development. The foundation for a prosperous and healthy community. Grants Municipal Airport, 505-287-4700.
So much to see and do in Grants. Parks provide relaxation for picnics and athletic events. Creative activities abound at the Senior Citizen Center. The new animal shelter is a state-of-the-art facility for our lost pets. Grants is home to the Mount Taylor Quad, Fire and Ice Bike Rally, 4th of July Rodeo, and so much more. Grants, the gateway to outdoor adventures, sightseeing, hunting, hiking, biking, and riding. Grants, where ancient and modern civilizations meet. Grants, a great place to live. Welcome to this segment of Cibola Treasures. In our studio today are two people that are changing our community. Manuel Vasquez and John Martinez. Welcome to Cibola Treasures.
Thank you, Barbara. Pleasure to be here.
Well, it's my pleasure to have the two of you here because we're going to talk about a tradition, right?
Exactly.
And it's the tradition of our Christmas light parade, our holiday light parade. I'm not sure what is appropriate anymore, but I still call it Christmas. But first of all, I wanted to make a comment about something I saw. I think it was 2 years ago. My comment was there are communities throughout the country that do not have all of the spectacular floats that we had in that parade that year. I mean, it was unbelievable for me.
I believe that every year is totally different from the year before. I think the community itself takes great pride in the fact that we do have that parade.
Right.
And every year the community tries to outdo themselves from the year prior. And if you just think back to the many parades that you have been, and I believe this is either the 8th or the 9th annual. I don't know for sure. But if you look back and remember the ones that you've been to, every year the floats get more elaborate, bigger, and more participation. Now we've got groups participating that before wouldn't even consider being a part of it.
Right. Well, I think that it's something that our whole community should be proud of, and especially Grants Mainstreet. I mean, it takes a lot of work to get this going.
Barbara, it takes a lot of work and a lot of dedication and the whole community to come out. And without the community, we wouldn't have it. We have these people that are coming in and all the organizations putting a float in, competing against each other. Last year we were in charge of, I was in charge of putting them all, lining them up and all that, and John's been there. He knows what it's like. Right. And the community, it makes you feel so good when you see the community come in, join in, and asking, what can we do for you? That to me meant a lot, for the simple reason is they're asking us what they can do for us. And that is nice. The first couple of years that we went to the Christmas parade, there was maybe 6 or 7, and look how it's grown.
I know.
Every year, and we thank the community for that.
Right.
And we're Main Street, John Martinez is in with Main Street. We are trying to make it better and brighter, more lights.
Right.
We are working on that now.
We've had our first meeting, and one of the things that we've discussed was the fact that there are stretches of Santa Fe that are a little bit too dark, and in some of the vehicles, especially carrying some of the dignitaries, if you would, don't have lights on them. So we're going to ask the city to leave the street lights on now, but we're also asking anybody that's got an entry, whether it's a marching group, whether it's an old vintage car, or whether it's a float, you must have lights on it, one form or another. And I mean, that's the name of the parade, the Holiday Lights Parade. So we want everything lit. And again, this year we're inviting any group, civic, political group, government, business, to come and participate. It's join the parade, register your float or your entry. It's $10 an entry, and we want. There's certain rules that we have instigated in the years past. Number one, simply because it is at night and it is dark, we do not allow anything to be thrown from any of the floats, simply because you could hit somebody in the eye, a child could run out into the street, get run over, and we want to keep it as safe. We want to keep it a fun event. We, so far, knock on wood, nothing has ever happened, but that doesn't mean that it can't, because it obviously can. And so, a lot of people might think, well, that's part of a parade is to catch the goodies, whether they're beads, whether it's candy, whether it's stuffed toys or whatever. But in this case, we've got to realize that, children get excited, and so do adults. And you sort of lose control, and you want to grab that special thing that's being thrown, and before you know it, we have a problem. So we're asking nothing to be thrown from the floats. And we want this year's theme that we have come up with is Christmas Along the Mother Road. And we chose that particular theme simply because we want to make it fun. We want your business or your business to just sit, what does Christmas Along the Mother Road mean to me? What do I envision? Is it a cactus all lit up? Is it an old vintage car? Is it just whatever you find along the Mother Road? And so we're anticipating it's going to be fun. Last year, I believe there was 26 entries. This year, we're going to shoot for 30 and more. So, if your grandmother's in town, Barbara, have her come down and enter the parade.
Well, Route 66 is so special to us. We have the longest stretch of Route 66 in the state of New Mexico, continuous stretch of Route 66 right here in our county. And having that as a theme is wonderful. there are some things, though, that you're going to be providing as far as goodies for the youngsters.
Well, we're going to give out toys.
We're going to have the Toys for Tots.
Toys for Tots, and that's going to be Raymond Saavedra in charge of that. We're going to have, hopefully, Mr. Walter Jaramillo would come out with his hot chocolate and cookies.
Right.
And we're going to have a Santa there. And bring all your cameras, because we're not going to have a designated photo shoot with Santa. So all the parents that are bringing their kids out, be a good idea if you guys could bring your cameras and take photos with Santa Claus.
Okay. So we've got the parade, and the parade starts at what time?
Around 6-ish.
Okay,
Around 6,
about dusk.
Dusk.
And then once it arrives at the park on Santa Fe Avenue, there'll be cookies and hot chocolate. You also have Santa is going to be there, and then Toys for Tots is going to be distributing gifts. So this is really a big, special occasion.
And Toys for Tots is very significant. It, of course, it's a program, an initiative that the U.S. Marine Corps started way back when. And we're very fortunate that we have Ray Saavedra, who is so dedicated to that cause. He works and he works and he works, and he searches high and low for donations for the toys. And we give out, Mainstreet gives out, in excess of 1,500 toys in one night. And there isn't a child that doesn't come to the park that does not take a toy home. Okay. So that in itself is a wonderful, wonderful part of the holiday celebration. And again, we are so very fortunate to have somebody like Ray.
Well, it takes a tremendous amount of work on his part, because he has to organize these events to be able to get the money to be able to go out and buy the gifts. And then I believe it was his wife told me one time every gift was wrapped. Right. Can you imagine the hours that are spent doing that? I'm hoping that those involved that observe this don't take any of this for granted, because there are people that put their heart and soul into making an event like this spectacular.
There are so many behind the scenes workings continuously going on. Like I just mentioned, we've had our first meeting, and from that first meeting, it's like an octopus. Every arm is busy doing something. And again, with the Toys for Tots, Ray not only has to seek out and solicit donations of toys or money to buy toys, but he has to coordinate with the Marine Corps.
Right.
I mean, it's not just like I'm doing this or I'm going to do this. He has got to get permission to make sure, because the Marine Corps, they do have stipulations as to how it can be done, and because their name is out there.
Sure.
And so it's not a one-man thing. It's just every aspect of that night's celebration. There's something going on behind the scenes. There's phone calls being made. There's trips to City Hall, and there's trips to code enforcement. It just goes on and on and on. And this year, we're very, very fortunate in the fact that the Chamber of Commerce is agreed to help us and work with us. And we're fortunate in that respect, because they can bring in an element that was missing before maybe.
Right? Sure.
And therefore, again, every event, we can rest on our laurels of what we did last year or the year before. But in order for an event to become bigger and better, you've got to add something new every year.
That's right.
A new excitement, new people, new, just something different, something new.
New energy.
New energy,
That's
exactly.
New energy's coming in.
Right. That's
Exactly. And again, we're very grateful for the Chamber of Commerce to come in and offer their assistance. And it's been a community event before, but starting this year, it's going to be an event for the entire community, not just there's no more. It's my event.
Right.
It's our event.
We're going to have to take a station break right now for our sponsors. We'll be right back in just a moment, so stay tuned.
Highest ranked by J.D. Powers and Associates. It's the 2014 Chevrolet Impala. That's right, the beautifully designed, fuel-efficient Chevrolet Impala. The all-new powerful 2014 Silverado 1500 with EcoTech 3 V8 exceeds the industry standards. The Chevrolet Malibu aerodynamic, classy design gets up to 37 highway miles per gallon. Find new roads at Amigo Chevrolet, 1900 South 2nd Street in Gallup.
Well, thank you for staying with us, because we have Grants Mainstreet here with us this morning, and we're talking about the holiday light parade. I call it the Christmas light parade because Christmas is so special. But Manny, you and I have spoken over a period of time about the vision that we can see for our community. I think that we share a common vision of what we hope our community is moving toward. You want to share some of those with our audience?
You know what? I joined Main Street almost 2 years ago, and I really didn't know what Main Street was all about. I finally figured it out, going to some of their meetings and all. It's a great organization, and it's actually to bring the community together, Barbara. Mm-hmm. The whole community. I've really realized that without our city government, our businesses supporting every aspect of our community, donations, gifts, whatever, without the merchants and grants, we wouldn't have what we have now. Mm-hmm. And the main thing is trying to get them all together to work with the community. I'm talking Cibola County, sure. City of Grants, everybody working together, bringing out and coming down to the Mother Road.
Right.
Which of the Mother Road is Route 66, and Grants Mainstreet with the Chamber of Commerce working together to bring everybody to the central of town. We have a beautiful park. We have the Fire and Ice Park. We have the pavilions. We have everything there. We have the amphitheater. We have the river walk that we're working on. Just think if all the community can come together and make it one big joyful party. We're having that on October.
The river walk, the Legacy Trail.
Right.
We're going to have the rededication, if I may say that, if that's proper, on the October 26th. The 26th. We're asking for volunteers to come help clean up, and then on Sunday, we're going to have some entertainment and just to just get it going and put it in motion, if you will.
Right.
Bring the community back to the Mother Road,
right.
which is a Christmas parade, light parade going to be. And without the merchants and all the people that come out and line our streets for the Christmas street parade, is unbelievable. If you haven't seen it and walked it, you'd be surprised how many people show up for that.
Sure.
Yeah.
Well, do you remember Charles and Vonnie Yerkes?
I do.
Well, do you remember that they initiated the concerts there?
Right.
And people would bring, this is at the Riverwalk Pavilion, people would bring their picnics, put out their blankets on the lawn, the children were playing, the music was wonderful, right. and people were dancing.
Yes, they were.
And this really was something very special. I can recall one nonprofit organization sold popcorn, and another one sold soft drinks. And so they came to provide the refreshments for the group. But it was such a happy time, and I would love to see that happen again there.
It's going to happen, Barbara. We're so excited over it. We're working on that now. On the 26th and 27th, we're having that cleanup and painting and everything. And we're also going to have food for everybody. All the participants are going to be there. But this is the start to get everybody together to go back to the amphitheater. You notice the old building where the bathrooms were stationed at one time. They're all gone. Now that's a nice open place that we can have dances in there.
Good.
You can have parties in there. But the main thing is to try to get everybody to come out, have a good time, listen to the music, bring a picnic, bring your dogs out here with leashes on and have a great time. And this is what it's all about.
Well, I have a colleague in Gallup that we were talking about doing some things special here in Grants, and he said, I took him down to the Riverwalk, and he said, why do you guys have so many things that we don't have in Gallup? And that reminds me about Gallup. Do you know that over the years, Gallup has attempted to have a Main Street project many times, and they cannot get Main Street started in and keep it in Gallup. And we're fortunate that we have been able to, even with all the changes in executive directors and board members, we have been able to comply because remember, Main Street is a national organization. It's not just a state organization or a city organization. It is a national organization. So we have to comply with the national requirements, the state requirements, and the board members that take on committees need to comply with those things that are required to keep Main Street going.
You know, one thing, Barbara, that I had left Main Street and I came back. I'm not on the board. I'm presently not on the board, but I am chairman of the promotions committee. And one thing that in coming back into the Main Street group, one thing that I have noticed is that with anything that you've got, you get to a point where things become stale and it's the same thing over and over and over, and it becomes tired and it's stale. Well, now there's new board members, there's new membership in the general ranks of Main Street. So therefore, these new members, board members, committee members, whatever, they're bringing in a new excitement, an enthusiasm that had been lost along the way. And again, going back to our first meeting that we had for the Holiday Lights Parade, we talked about different projects that we might do. And as the promotions committee, we're talking about a couple of big major events in the next few months. We're talking about small events to welcome new businesses, encourage the businesses that are along our stretch of Route 66. How can we help you promote, entice, welcome visitors, welcome our own members of the community? So there is a new excitement. And you and I have talked, and I've mentioned to you that I feel like there is a surge of excitement throughout the business community, throughout the community in general. And I firmly believe that. And if we, as members of this community, members of the business community, if we do not lasso that energy, that enthusiasm, that excitement now, we're going to lose it. So it's up to us
to maintain the momentum.
To maintain the momentum, kick it in the butt a little bit and move it along, and let's capture it and take advantage of it.
Well, see, what this also means is that we become a more prosperous community. And that's what we want, is economic development. And Main Street has an economic development format as well. There are, over the years, as I have studied the dynamics of businesses that have been successful, communities that have been successful, we have two people that have really helped to move this along. One is Ms. Vallejos, who is the president of Main Street. She has done things that presidents in the past have not done, have not stepped up to the plate to do. And the next is Bianca Mitchell, who is our executive director for Grants Mainstreet. These are two professional women that have taken this role seriously and have not let the ball drop. So I have to commend them for their effort, especially Ms. Vallejos with a full-time job when it came to the Fire and Ice Bike Rally. I think 3 or 4 weeks before the bike rally, she was there every single day working to deal with all the issues that needed to be dealt with.
She's been a great president. She's moved us in the right direction. But the other thing is that she does an excellent job on the fire and ice and everything else, but that's an event. And we need to let the people know that it's only an event, and Main
That's
Street
right.
has a lot of events going on.
Right.
And without the right board members there, we wouldn't have what we have. We wouldn't have the energy that we have now. And,
Well,
and we're working really, really good to bring the community together. Not to think of just one event, but all the events that Grants Mainstreet does. And with John on board and the new energy that we have on the board, new board members, you're going to see a lot of different changes now. We're going to see a lot of more interest in downtown,
Right.
and more projects going on and more events going on.
Right. Well, I can recall early on with Main Street, there was a move to get businesses to improve their storefront.
Right.
And we haven't seen that for a long time.
It's coming.
Good.
It is
Well,
coming.
Listen, we are just about out of time, but when is the Holiday Light Parade or My Christmas Light Parade
The Holiday
coming?
Light Parade will be, as it has been since its inception, at the first Saturday of December, which is this year, December the 7th. And we're trying, we're going to do our best to put on the best parade that we've ever had. Now, if we could only somehow control the weather, we'd have that. We'd do bigger, better with that. That's the only thing that is a negative, and it really is not a negative because it's the work of God, and He gives us what He wants. But nevertheless, whether it's cold, whether it's windy, whether it's snowing, we will be there, and hopefully the community will be there, and just share the spirit. It's
Sure.
a wonderful time of the year, and let's just get out and support each other, be a part of the community, and make it a better place to live.
We need floats, we need lights, we need everyone involved, get involved with the Holiday Light Parade. We're out of time. Thank you.
Thank you,
Thank
Barbara,
you,
for having us.
Barbara.
And we'll see you for the Christmas parade.
And thank you for tuning in to this segment of Cibola Treasures. Remember to support our wonderful sponsors. This is brought to you by Seven Cities Productions and Comcast.
Hello, I'm Craig Chapman from Air Care Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing Supply. This is my wife, Dawn, and this is Melissa. She's our plumbing expert. This is Sassy, our shop dog here. She's quite the dog. And this morning, we'd like to talk to you about some of our products. Some of our Malco tools. We got crew line aviation snips, tape measures, benders, pretty much everything. We've got a big variety of these type of tools. And then we move on over here. We got refrigeration gauges, all the different parts to install refrigerant. We have all the testers up here. We have every kind of tester you can imagine. Carbon monoxide, flow indicators, stuff like that. We have the blankets here. These blankets are for putting around your pipes when you're welding so you don't catch your house on fire. Very good product. We have scales to weigh the Freon in. We also have our Tech-Tite, all our Tech-Tite fittings up here, a wide variety of Tech-Tite fittings. Get on over here, we have Lennox. We have pipe wrenches, hacksaws, pretty much any type of a tool that you would need for doing plumbing or heating and cooling. This is also some more of our products. We have Delta faucets. We have the 3-handle, 2-handle faucets. We have all kinds of. Delta's a good product here. So if you see that, we got all the less expensive and more expensive faucets. We have all your angle stops, all the sink strainers. We have all the different types of PVC and brushes, everything to clean and solder, stuff like that. All that stuff we have over there. Again, this is some of the equipment we have over here. These are ream package units. Everybody in town loves these package units. They're pretty much bulletproof, easy install. This is a ream, it's a 3.5 ton. We sell a wide variety, any type of equipment you need. We have the heaters back in the background over in this area. On the other side, there's the gas heaters back in the corner there. So we have it in stock. If you need it, we have it in stock, and if we don't, we'll have it that afternoon. Thank you for stopping in and taking the time to look at our products at Air Care Heating and Cooling and Plumbing Supply. We really appreciate your business in Grants, New Mexico. And I want to tell you, come in and you can have a cup of coffee and a bag of popcorn. And
at Air Care, we care about our customers.
Welcome to this segment of Cibola Treasures. In our studio today is Ronnie Henry. And Ronnie Henry is an award-winning silversmith jeweler, really, because you've got jewels. And so what I'd like to do, Ronnie, is first of all welcome you to Cibola Treasures, because you are one of our treasures. And I'd like for you to talk about, before we get into some of the work that you've completed, I would like for you to talk about the tools that you use and what they're used for.
Okay.
So if you could share with us a little bit.
Okay, well, this here is called tufa stone, and this is my method of making my jewelry. What I do is actually I carve into this, as you can see. I use, okay, that's the tufa, and here are some of the tools that I have. They mostly look like picks, but they do the job.
Right. So what you do is you pour the silver into the tufa stone.
Yes, that's correct. So once I do finish making the mold, it's what it's called. I also have one over there. It's a completed mold.
Okay, let me just. This one is.
This one's a completed mold. This is supposed to be a ring. So once I have all carved out on the inside, what I do is I put another piece, which I'll use this, put them together, and I fasten them around with what I use is like a clamp. I use a clamp, and I pour the silver into that opening right there.
Okay.
And once that is completed, so this is what it comes out. As you can see, that's what that is here.
Okay. So it's a rough piece.
Yes.
This has not been finished in any way, shape, or form. It's just rough out of the tufa stone.
Yes, that's correct.
Okay. And when we look at this is another stage of that same ring.
Yes, this is the sanding stage. Okay, once I clip this piece off here, what I use is this tool to clip this off, to take off this little excess right here, the opening from there. I use that, and I start sanding.
And here is a finished piece.
Yes.
And it's a beautiful piece. And it's not only, and it starts out with the tufa stone and the hot silver, and then it comes out of there like this. Then there's one stage, and this is the final stage.
Exactly.
Okay.
And don't forget that we also do stone also.
Okay. So, but in the stones, here we have turquoise in this ring, and here we have
they call that spiny oyster shell.
Spiny oyster shell. So we have those two in here in the ring. So depending on what someone wants, you can design it different styles, but with different stones as
Exactly,
well.
exactly. I mean, that's limitless, because we can always do triangle.
Okay.
When we can always do like rectangles and and squares.
So here's a rectangle. Here's another size, and so here is a rectangle. These are tiny, tiny little pieces, and you have big hands. So how do you handle all these tiny little things that you work with? These little delicate pieces that you work with.
Well, the bezel actually it comes in the sheet. It's 6 inches, so actually it's a long piece.
Okay.
So it's a lot easier to work with. But once it gets smaller, it does tend to get really. It gets hard to hold.
Now the other thing we need to show our audience is This is the silver chains that you make, and this is an unfinished. This is a chain, a raw chain. I'm going to call it raw.
Yes.
And then here is the chain that's been polished. It hasn't been assembled yet, but this is what the chain links look like at 2 different stages. So you can see that there's a lot of work that goes into a piece, isn't there?
Yes. Yeah, everything that we do is handmade from start to finish. We try not to rely on finished materials, the findings. We like to do our own findings, like our earrings. I notice a lot of people, they use those French hooks that they buy like in a bulk of hundreds, but we do our own. We meaning me and my mother. She's the one that also taught me.
Okay. So, and I one of the reasons that I really want to focus on the artists in our state and throughout the Southwest is that these are not things that you just discard or, oh, I'm going to pick up a trinket. These are treasures to be, I think, well, first of all, the artist needs to be respected. That's because of all the hard work that you put into it. But I would like to let the public know that sometimes you will pick up stuff that just is invaluable because of all the work that goes into it.
Yes. Well, it seems it does. I mean, when you see a piece of jewelry, it does seem like it's so easy that you can go out and just do it yourself. But no, it's not, because there are different stages. Stage 1, this is probably the hardest part of all.
Now, I was told that with a tufa stone that you could only use it one time, so you're having to, and you mentioned that sometimes you can use it twice.
Yeah, that's if you're lucky.
Okay.
If you're very lucky.
And so here is the beginning stage, and not only are you having to replenish this product with every this mold, really, that's what it is. This mold, every single time you create something, you also have to invest in tools.
Exactly. Tools. Also, to heat up the silver, we use up a lot of propane. A lot of people, they use acetylene and oxygen. We use propane. This is what I use to heat up the silver.
Okay. And here I've got some little pieces of silver that are in this shell, and so
they call this crucible.
okay, a crucible. And so here are some pieces of silver that are going to be used for a piece of your jewelry.
Yes, this one here is these are actually plate. As you can see, they're plate. I try to use silver that's been untouched by fire, and meaning clean. That when I say clean, it's never been touched. The fire has not touched the silver. So this is considered clean. If I use, like, they also have a thing called dirty scrap, which contains solder on them, or it could be dust. I try not to use that, because if I do use that dirty scrap, you can actually see like bubbles into the silver.
Impurities.
Exactly, impurities. So the cleaner the silver, the better. We use clean silver. We use casting grain. There's also another silver called argentium sterling, which is an anti-tarnishing silver. It's great, but it's very expensive.
Right. Now these come in sheets.
They come in sheets, and they come in casting grain. They're like little. I don't know how you. It's just. It is like it's grain. But I like to work with sheets.
Okay. All right. And so this requires a lot of patience to be able to cut these things, knowing that you're going to be using it for a specific item,
Yes,
it has to be precise, doesn't it?
it does. Let's see how I like on this one. Yeah, so you can't really put too much or too little. I mean, it's better to put in a little too much silver in here, but the thing is, it's gonna take a long time for it to heat up. So that's gonna
Right.
take time. And if you put too little, you might not even
Fill it up.
Yeah,
So it has to be full. And
Exactly.
so what do you do with, see, all this is silver. So when you cut this off, what do you do with it?
I actually also reuse it.
Okay.
Because it's still considered clean. There's no solder. There's no solder that's
Okay.
into the silver, so I can reuse that.
Okay. Very good. I would not, when I looked at this, I thought that possibly it was a pendant of some kind, that you were making a pendant because of the shape of it. And we're just now getting started, so we have to take a commercial break, but we'll be right back with you in just a moment, so stay tuned.
Window World has changed the remodeling industry forever with professional quality, superior craftsmanship, and beauty. Windows and doors are designed to your specifications. We'll keep your home cooler in the summer and warmer in the winter with Solar Zone Low E insulated glass. Is Energy Star efficient? Internationally recognized by the Architectural Manufacturers Association and the National Fenestration Rating Council, and carries the Good Housekeeping seal of approval.
Hi, I'm Mike Peters.
Hi, I'm Patty Peters.
We've been very impressed with the product that we purchased from Window World.
They came in and installed our windows in one day and even cleaned up the mess afterwards.
Paul came over on a Saturday from Albuquerque, measured the windows, offered us a great product at an even better price, and I would sincerely recommend them to anyone.
Window World cares and is committed to helping those in need. Contributes St. Jude Children's Hospital, Veterans Airlift Command, and is the Window World racing sponsor. The Window World showroom is located at 2029 Candelaria Road Northeast in Albuquerque. Call 505-884-4889 for a free estimate today.
Well, we're back with Ronnie Henry, and he's talking to us about his technique for silversmithing. And it's fascinating to me that you need all of these tools. Now, what do you use to polish when you get it to this stage right here, to a finished product? What do you use to polish this? How do you get it that polished?
We actually use the first stage. What I use is a buffing wheel.
Okay.
That's the brush.
Okay.
We use that, and we use a compound that we put on
Okay.
to take off all the scratches. As you can see in this,
Sure.
you can see all the scratches there.
Okay.
And then once that is completed, what I do is this might not be everybody's method, but I use that.
Okay. And what is this called?
They call it a muslin.
Okay.
So,
So it's a cloth.
yeah, it's a cloth. I
Okay.
don't know how many plies it is, but it's a cloth, and we use I use this to once the scratches are off, I use this. It kind of gives it like a high shine. And once that is completed with this with the ring, and then it goes to a washing process, because the compounds that we use on this, it kind of gives out like some oils on it, so it's kind of oily, kind of greasy. So
Okay.
what we do is we wash it to take off all
Okay.
that oil, and after that we do polishing. And polishing, this is what I use.
Okay. Now this is really soft. It feels almost like a velvet or something.
Yeah.
It's very, very soft.
At first, it's not. It's not really soft, but it does tend to get really soft as you use it.
Okay. Very good.
And Yeah, this is these are the 3 stages that I use.
Okay, very good.
A lot of people that I've seen, they've done up to like maybe 5, up to 10 stages, but this is good for me. It works well.
Well, when you say it's good for you, when someone enters 6 pieces in the Gallup Intertribal Ceremonial and comes away with 7 ribbons, including, and we'll be talking about those pieces very quickly, but I do have some here that are in the early stages. They're like, this will be a bracelet.
Yes.
And then this will be a necklace, it looks like here. And so all of these are in the early stages of refinement, if you will. And so here's a cross. And so let's go to some of the pieces that we want to share with the audience, because those are just absolutely exquisite. Now here is a piece, a pendant, and why don't you, and this again is with the tufa. You don't do any of the other type of silversmithing besides using the tufa.
Yes, exactly. That's basically what I've always done was the casting part.
Okay.
It's always been easy for me. I mean, I've tried doing other types, but this is what I've been drawn to. It's easier for me.
Well, and see, I look at the quality of work that you do, and you say it's easier for you. That's wonderful, because evidently you've become an expert at it, or you would not be winning all these awards and ribbons. But describe what this is.
Oh, that is a pendant. That's just something that I don't know how to explain it, but it's something I envision. Once you start carving into this, when you start, you don't know when to stop, and you don't know what you're going to create sometimes.
Okay, because here's a tufa that's different from the first one that we had shown.
Yes.
And this is the mold for your grand prize winning piece, right? It's for, and this is, and let's talk about this. This is not silver.
No, that's gold.
And so you also work in gold.
Yes.
And so here is the mold for the design for these pieces.
Yes.
And so here is, and I'm going to hold it up like so, but where did you get your inspiration for this design of the gold?
This one here has, there's one that's very similar to what my mother had made.
Okay.
So I actually got my inspiration from her. We call it the broken arrow because it does symbolize like an arrow.
Okay. And what stones are you using in here?
It's coral.
It's coral?
Yes, it's some Mediterranean coral.
Okay. And then there's some little shiny pieces in here too.
Those are diamonds.
Okay.
They're 12-point diamonds, and I'll also have the earrings.
Okay.
That also go with that. And there's 10 diamonds, and there's one in each broken arrow piece.
Okay.
And they're all coral.
So here's a set, and then I see we have an a ring that they could have a necklace, earrings, and a ring to go
Exactly.
that all match, right?
Exactly.
Right. So this one, the ribbon at the Gallup Intertribal Ceremonial, and it is for best in the category.
Yeah, it's best in the casting category.
Right. Right.
Best in tufa, sand, and lost wax.
Okay, so that particular piece won this wonderful blue ribbon at the Gallup Ceremonial. And then you also have another piece here, and this is a necklace.
Mm-hmm.
Now, what is this design?
We call it the key necklace.
A what?
The key, because they tend to look like little keys.
Oh, that's right. Okay.
Yeah, this is actually almost universal, the design. Some people call it the Greek key, and some people from the West Coast, the California Native American Indians. They say that these are like little waves, water waves.
Ah.
But I've always seen this in my grandmother. She makes rugs, so this is what the design that she uses in her rugs.
That's right. I've seen those designs
Yeah.
and weavings.
Yeah, she's also a very big inspiration.
Okay, wonderful. Now, with this also came some earrings that
Yes.
you had, and that goes with this piece.
Yes.
And you've got turquoise in the earrings.
That's called New Lander. It's actually a stone from Nevada called calcasiderite. It's its
Okay.
formal name.
Okay. And so these earrings, you make you don't buy any of your fittings for pierced ears, you make all of them.
Yes, exactly.
Okay, so everything is handmade. And then, so what do you see? You know, I see some stuff out at various places that is not exquisite like this or unique as yours. What do you see as the future of the silversmithing, the Navajo silversmithing for the future?
Well, for the future, I think there are a lot of kids that are pretty much interested in it. So I am very hopeful that they do well. The thing about just getting into jewelry business is the having the time and the money.
It's expensive.
It's very expensive because silver does fluctuate daily. You don't know what it's going to be, if it's going to be lower or higher the next day. So yeah, what I would really recommend is just try to put your name out there, like what we're doing now. This interview is actually a really good highlight in my career.
Now, you go to various markets. Where do you exhibit your stuff? I met you at the Santo Domingo Arts and Crafts Day.
Oh yes,
Market, I guess that's what they call it. But you've been at the Gallup Ceremonial. What other places do you exhibit your work?
I've done the Santa Fe Indian Market before. I've also done other museums out in the East Coast. Our first show was in New York City. It's been, oh my gosh, it's almost been 10 years ago.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
That's where it started from. Doing shows was when I used to live out in the East Coast.
Okay. And what does the show require? You don't bring all of your equipment to show them, you simply bring your finished product?
Yes, I do. Sometimes I do bring my tufa stones, so they kind of give them like an idea of what is done. Of course, you bring our tables and chairs, and credit card machines always.
Oh, right.
Always good to have. But it depends on the show that you're going to. Sometimes they do provide you with tables and chairs, but other than that, I mean, that's also work, looking for shows.
Sure.
Yeah,
looking for those that are going to have the clientele that you're wanting.
Exactly.
Right.
I mean, all this is work. Even if I go into town, even looking for stones, that takes a lot of time.
It does, because here is turquoise, and I don't know how you handle these. My fingers are smaller than yours, but and then here's one that's already in a setting, and you polish all of these.
Yes.
And so it comes to you, and we also have opal here. This is an opal going into a setting. Whoops, sorry, little opal, I dropped you. But all of this takes time. You have to be astute when it comes to buying your silver and your stone. You need to know what you're getting in stoneware, don't you?
Exactly, because all the stones that I use are all natural. I don't use anything that's synthetic or stabilized. That's what I'm really looking for is natural American turquoise,
Right.
which is really rare to find.
Okay. Well, Ronnie, our time is up. Jimmy has given us the high sign. So how could someone reach you if they wanted to buy some of your jewelry, or if they wanted to contract with you for a piece?
They can always email me, or they can always call me on my number.
Okay. And your email address is Ronnie Henry.
It's
Henry.Ronnie
at gmail.com.
Okay, it's henry.ronnie@gmail.com. And your P.O. Box is 657 Crown Point.
That's correct.
And the zip code there is 87313. And your telephone number is...
My telephone number is area code 505-402-4732.
Okay, very good. And on his card, he's got some of this beautiful work that he does. We wish you tremendous success. Continue to win these ribbons. Go to these events and markets where you become more and more well known. This is phenomenal for us to have you in our studio today. Often we don't get someone from the Crown Point Rug Auction who has won all these ribbons.
I do that too.
Okay. And thank you for tuning in to this segment of Cibola Treasures, brought to you by our phenomenal sponsors, including Seven Cities Productions and Comcast.
The award-winning Chevrolet 2014 models have arrived. Test drive one today. Plus, Amigo Chevrolet has a huge selection of pre-owned vehicles and get rebates as high as $6,500 too. The friendly, experienced staff makes car buying a pleasure. Financing available for all credit levels. You'll find new roads at Amigo Chevrolet, the Little Profit Center, serving New Mexico and Arizona. 1900 South 2nd Street, Gallup. Call 505-726-2308.
Hi, I'm David Leffler of Leffler's Guns, etc. We specialize in the shooting sports, formal and informal target shooting, hunting, and self-protection. We have rifles, pistols, shotguns, muzzleloaders, accessories, and ammunition. We have ammunition for most popular calibers and some not so popular. A variety of knives. We have pepper spray and stun guns for those quieter self-protection moments. We can't have everything, so give us an opportunity to order something for you. Leffler's Guns, etc., 825 West Santa Fe in Grants, 505-287-4003. Thank you.
Remember that shopping in Grants encourages our economic stability. So the shop local is very important to our community. I want to thank each of you for watching this edition of Cibola Treasures, brought to you by our phenomenal sponsors, including Comcast and Seven Cities Productions.